Hi, I'm naturopathic Dr. Sami McCulley, and I am here with Stephanie Kirst. Stephanie is an EMF expert, and if you have missed the first 4 videos that we have put out and you don't know what EMF is, I'm going to let Stephanie do a quick intro about that. And then we're going to talk about infertility today. This is the 5th of our health topics that are affected by EMF. Okay, Stephanie, go ahead. Tell them what it's all about.
So I'm a building biologist and I specialize in assessing and mitigating EMF for clients. EMF simply stands for electromagnetic fields. And in our daily life, there can be a lot of sources. Predominantly think about your cell phones, your Wi-Fi, your electric panel. Those are some common sources that we look to measure and reduce exposure to.
Okay.
And then,
yeah.
As we think about, so EMF can affect all of the body systems, but if we really look at it through the lens of fertility, which can be an emotional topic for a lot of people, there are specific EMF health effects related to fertility based on exposure to the different kinds of EMF. So for example, there was a study done at Kaiser by a local researcher that talked about a 3-fold increased risk of miscarriage when you are exposed to magnetic fields, which is one kind of EMF that primarily comes from our power supply, or things like a heating pad, an electric blanket, or even an induction stove. Those are popular these days. They have a magnetic heating element that can have high emissions. So that's one instance of where EMF can affect fertility. We also think about using our cell phones and using Wi-Fi. And there are studies that talk about preterm birth, as well as lack of implantation of an embryo with exposure to wireless radiation. So if we look at the umbrella of EMF that we're exposed to, magnetic fields, wireless EMF, we can see that they can have health effects on the female body from a fertility perspective. So it's definitely something we want to be aware of.
Okay. So before you talk more about this, I just wanted to say, and make sure that everybody is aware of this, everybody thinks of fertility as a female problem, but males contribute to infertility just as much as women do. And if you look at the 100% of infertility issues, a third of the time it's the woman, a third of the time it's the man, and a third of the time it's both the man and the woman. So it's just as important to address male infertility as it is to address female infertility.
And if we think about the effects of EMF on the male reproductive system, we're talking about a decrease in sperm count, abnormalities in sperm shape, DNA damage, mainly related to oxidative stress. And so, exactly as you said, there are factors here from an EMF perspective that can affect everyone's body. And we want to really proactively be aware of that exposure and take the necessary steps to reduce it, which is really, really simple. And that's the important thing to remember here. We just want to give you the awareness to have the understanding of, what to do, because this shouldn't be something that's alarmist. We want to give you tools that help you with your fertility process. So that can be as simple as, if you're sitting on the couch at night, I don't want your laptop in your lap while you're working, whether you're male or female. Try to keep your cell phone out of your pocket. Again, if you're male or female. If you're a woman, keep it out of your sports bra if you go out for a walk or a run. EMF falls off with distance as you move these wireless devices away from the body. So just a good rule of thumb is to keep them off your body. If we think about magnetic fields, if you have an induction stove, just be aware that you can have higher emissions when you're standing in front of it. Can you use the back burners instead of the front burners? Can you use the stove on, lower strength rather than on high? Those are ways to reduce emissions. If you tend to use something like a heating pad or an electric blanket, there are low EMF alternatives available. And so these are all examples of really simple measures that anyone can take to really think about being protective of our reproductive system, whether you're male or female. And it all helps and it all matters.
Okay, I have one quick question. What would be the ideal amount of distance away from your body to keep your phone?
So ideally, when your phone is on, we're looking at keeping it at least 10 feet away from your body. So if you're sitting in a home office working, for example, pick it up and put it across the room. Yes, it means that you've got to get up and check it if you get a call or a text, but it's much healthier that way, especially if you spend many hours a day at a desk. Same in the bedroom. If you have an opportunity to put it on a dresser or a piece of furniture that's 10 feet away, rather than having it on your nightstand, if it's on, that's really the way to go.
And so if it's, can you reduce it by changing certain switches on your phone?
Yeah, so you can reduce the exposure by putting it into airplane mode and double checking that Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are both off. Not that they say they're disconnected, because they'll still be emitting, but if you have airplane mode on, Wi-Fi off, and Bluetooth off, then yes, you're in a much better shape.
And if Wi-Fi is on, but 5G is off, is that also better?
You know, you can think of it as they're different sources
Level.
of the same EMF. So
Okay.
really you want to minimize all of them as much as
All of
possible.
them.
That's a good question.
Okay. So they're all not great. We
would
just
like you to have less of them right
of
next
all
to
of
your
them.
body, especially
Okay.
when you're sleeping.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you, Stephanie. So what are we going to talk about next time?
I think we could talk about EMF meters and different ways that you could
Testing.
measurements and learn a little bit more about EMF if you're a DIY type. But let's see.
Okay. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching. And
Thank
if you like this video, subscribe to the channel that you're watching it on, whether it's Sage Living or Wellness Architecture, and pass this on if you think someone could benefit from it.